State your name.
Yeah, I'll start from the beginning. How about we do that?
Yes, let's do that.
All right. Senior Constable Roncardo, Wollongong Highway Patrol.
Thank you.
I'm required by law to let you know I'm wearing a body-worn video camera that's recording, and there's cameras in the Highway Patrol car that are recording.
That's
as well.
fine, no dramas at all.
All right. Do you agree that I've directed you into the RBT site for the purposes of random testing?
I agree, you pulled me in for that, yeah.
Right. Do you agree that I've asked you to produce your driver's licence?
Yes, and do you agree that I've said to you that is a commercial contract to the Roads and Maritime Services, and that is a separate corporation to the New South Wales Police Force, which is a different ABN, so you didn't have the consent by me, I am the beneficiary and the executor of that legal fiction name. You didn't have the consent to even look up the details of that commercial contract to the RMS, because you're a separate corporation.
All right. I agree you said something similar to that, not quite as long as that, much shorter.
I do study law.
Yeah, all right. So, in the end, said you're driving a motor vehicle and the state of New South Wales...
No, I'm not driving a motor vehicle, I'm travelling.
You're required to produce carry and produce a driver's licence with when police ask.
That'd be if you're conducting commerce, and I'm not conducting commerce, I'm actually travelling.
Do you agree that I then gave you a warning that if you didn't produce that driver's licence that you would be arrested?
Oh, I agree you gave me that warning, but I find you have no jurisdiction as the state of New South Wales is registered to Washington DC under the... listen to me, please. I'm going to continue. State of New South Wales is registered to Washington DC on the Security Exchange Commission, 0000071545, which means that you now require an ASIC 480 memorandum, ASIC 402, ASIC 403, ASIC 404 and ASIC 405 to be able to conduct business lawfully in this country.
Again, I've mentioned to you before, I don't know what you're talking about.
I do, because I study law.
Yep. In the end, I'm dealing with the road rules in terms of New South Wales, the road legislation.
Well, I just told you, the state of New South Wales is registered to Washington DC without the people's consent of this country.
So this is your last warning. You need to produce.
I don't need to. No, I don't, sir. You know.
Senior Constable Roncardo, at this point in
do
time,
you not? Do not come in my private property, sir.
Sir, you're under
do
arrest.
not enter my private property. You're trespassing on my private property. You do not have consent to enter my property. This is my private property. Sorry, you do not have consent. You don't have consent. If you break my window,
open it up.
If you break my window, no, you are trespassing against my property, sir. You do not have consent. You now placing you under penalty of perjury, you must provide the material evidence that you are not a business. Now placing you under penalty of perjury, you must provide the material evidence that you are not a business. Right now, you must provide the material evidence that you're not a business. You're under penalty of perjury now, I remind you, officer. I know the law very well. I study contract law, all right? I know exactly what goes on here. You do not have jurisdiction over me. I am under the jurisdiction, and within the jurisdiction, and here we go, here's my identification of the Global Federal Postal Courts. That's a legal fiction name, that is not I. Legal fiction name, that's not I. You are committing personage right now by trying to identify me as a legal fiction name. You do not have the right to do so. That is personage. Personage is a crime. You're supposed to be upholding the law, sir. I am under global federal jurisdiction. Do you want to see my identification tag? You do not have jurisdiction over me. Real federal, not corporate. I am a student of Mark Kishon Christopher, the Global Chief Postal Court Judge. Do you still want to wish to try to contract with me, sir? Do you believe you are higher jurisdiction than Mark Kishon Christopher, the Global Chief Postal Court Judge? The real federal. Commonwealth of Australia is registered to Washington DC on the Security Exchange Commission, 0000805157. That is fraud, that is treason, that is without the people's consent. Sir, you are sitting in a position of treason right now. I will take this to the courts. I've already beaten the Chief Magistrate in the court in Sydney. And you will be next on the litigation. You'll be held liable in the private capacity. Do you understand? In the private capacity, you will be held liable. Your badge is your indemnity number. Your corporation does not cover you for your own conduct. Do you understand? So you do not have jurisdiction over me. I am global federal jurisdiction. And you will be receiving a judicial notice from me. Do you understand? Corporation cannot make laws for the living, nor can a corporation enforce laws on the living. Sir, I run a channel that reaches over 1